Okay, so we're going over these notes. Okay, I need you to pronounce this word for me so I know that you know how to say
I'm
it.
not pronouncing these guys' names. That's Jai Courtney and that's Jay Hernandez.
No, I'm talking about the big one. Adewale Akinnuoye Agbaje. I need you to say that for me.
Adewale Kuna Matata.
Nope.
Arachophobia.
Not even close.
Adewale Onomatopoeia.
Nope.
Acetaminophen.
No.
Adewale Anakiniovias Condios. Adewale Wingardium Leviosa.
Okay, you're not even trying anymore.
Trying what? I'm trying my hardest. This is not even a real name. Those are just Scrabble pieces thrown together. You have no other letters in Scrabble. You just put them together and just did that. That's what that is. That's not a name.
It's a simple name.
I'm done, man. Seriously, I'm done. No, for real.
I don't know what his problem is. Adewale Akinnuoye. That is hard.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, it's us again.
Again, we're back. Oh my goodness. I'm Christopher Gates.
I'm Peyton Fretwell.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What to Watch. Peyton, we got another movie review up on the docket.
Finally, about time we watched the movie at the same time.
I know, it's just been like forever. I don't remember the last time. Civil War. Anyway.
Back in the Civil War.
Civil War
I believe it was How Green Was My Valley, the winner of the 1941 Best Picture.
It was such a great time. I remember seeing Clark Gable there. Anyway.
This joke's gone on too long. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, well, speaking of the Civil War, the last time we saw a movie together was a comic book movie, and this time the next movie we saw was one of the bigger comic book movies towards the end of this summer, Suicide Squad.
Yes.
DC's follow-up to essentially Batman v Superman, and in many regards, this is the one that we were seeing, like the direction that they were going to go to take their movies, to see how they were the next direction of their phase of movies that they got coming out, especially with Wonder Woman and Justice League coming out next year.
Yeah, and we have kind of different feels on the movie. We walked away feeling different things, and right away, as you said, this is kind of the direction that DC's going in their cinematic universe. First impression, how do you feel about the way that they're going with their films?
First impression, cautiously optimistic.
Optimistic.
Very, but it's cautiously. Or probably more so, I'm just going to say it, I'm confused.
Okay.
I'm a bit confused, only simply for the fact of the matter is I'm just not sure if they know what direction to take these characters in these movies. Suicide Squad, definitely, I'll go ahead and put it out there. For some of you that probably seen the Rotten Tomato scores or seen the the Metacritic or whatever the case is that you're looking at, the critics themselves, they've been not nice.
No,
they've been pretty harsh.
Some even quite awful.
Yeah, some even calling this worse than Batman v Superman. That's quite an achievement.
That's low praise.
That's quite an achievement to say. Personally speaking, I don't think it's anywhere near the level of being that bad, but it does make me wonder what DC is trying to do. I'm just confused. I'm generally confused as far as how they're going to do the movies. This movie has potential. Yeah. I see the potential in it, and that makes me excited. But I have to admit.
Let's go into how you felt about the movie. What did you like about the movie first? So you say what you like about the movie. I'll go what I liked, and then we'll go into the negatives.
Oh, and first, and you probably know, these will contain some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see the movie, then come back and watch this. Or watch us, and then still go see the movie, whichever floats your boat.
Putting up a spoiler alert right now.
Whoop,
so
right there.
You click off if you haven't seen Suicide Squad.
So yeah, and then come back and click on when you do.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts of the movie. I actually I did like it better than Batman v Superman. It has a lot more heart. It has a lot more character in it. It has more characters in it in general. The first 30 minutes of the movie is very engaging. It sets up this story. It does. I almost kind of felt like, in a way, this is kind of like DC's Guardians of the Galaxy type of movie.
It was supposed to be, anyways.
Yeah, I think I can see that. I didn't think about that before, but I can definitely see that that's the tone and feel. The movie has a lot of popular songs are playing in it. It has a lot of characters that it's trying to balance out, and these characters are ragtag. No one really cares about them. It's us against.
So you
them
like that aspect? That was like Guardians of the
aspect.
Galaxy.
I did like that, but I have to admit, and this is the proper tone everyone else talked about. After that, there's not, for me, not too much I can pick from it. But a lot of great aspects of the movie. Will Smith, all the actors played their parts. They played their characters well. The particular shining moments, Will Smith as Deadshot, Margot Robbie as
Harley Quinn.
I don't know why I forgot her name.
Right there.
It's right there. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. That was a big surprise for me.
Her as well.
She played a really just don't even care character in that movie. And
She was cold. She was a cold, hard B word in that movie.
I mean, and they make that reference in the movie, and you fear her as much as the Suicide Squad themselves.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of things that she does in the movie, I was like, wow, that's the type of character she plays.
And one of the characters I didn't expect to like in this movie was Jay Hernandez as Diablo.
Yes.
Wow. Going into that movie, I didn't know anything about Diablo. I didn't read his comics or anything about him. Went in completely cold on his character and absolutely ended up liking his character, especially toward the end when he turned into a giant bone creature, which I did not know he did at all. And a lot of people were just like, yeah, he does that. He does that in the comic books. I have no idea. So that was an incredible switch for me, going in not knowing anything about this character, walking out and wanting to know more about him.
It was a lot of these characters, they really impressed me with the way how they did it. I was actually really impressed with it. I think I was really impressed with Will Smith's Deadshot character. He brought a lot of he had a lot of comedic tone at the same time. He also played that seriousness.
Yeah.
He played a little bit. Even Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, she was able to balance out the craziness with her character being still trying to be the grounded reality one of the movie. That was the one thing I would definitely say, that they don't, a lot of them really played their roles very well.
The movie may not have lived up to expectations, but one thing I think we could say walking away from this film is that the characters are worth investing in, and that I would be really excited seeing these characters going forward.
Oh yeah. I would like to see these characters even in the next phase of DC movies that are coming out, particularly Justice League, the solo Batman, Flash, whatever one. Speaking of which, for those who mostly probably know, Batman does have a cameo in the movie, Ben Affleck and Batman.
He's all over the trailer.
Yeah, so you know that. One that is hidden that I actually was like, oh wow, like that was really nice. Didn't expect that. Was Flash actually has a cameo in the movie when they're setting up for Captain Boomerang's storyline.
Yeah. Well, they already know that if they've seen the spoiler.
If
they've seen it, they're watching.
But I still like that. I still like that DC is including they're trying to include their Justice League and try to put these two worlds together. That I did like that. And the one thing I will say, like the world in this, in the comparison to the world of Batman v Superman, Batman v Superman is just depressing.
It's really dark.
This world seems. I like the world that they're in. It's not depressing. It's much more.
No, it's definitely not happy.
Yeah, it's not happy.
It's not a happy world.
But it's not depressing.
Yeah.
Like it's, even just, just the little scenes with just Deadshot walking with his daughter during Christmas time. Like that's in Gotham. So much a nicer scene than anything that Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman is like, yeah, it's raining today on this Thursday. Yep.
My parents are still dead.
My parents are still dead. Martha. So, but what are some other elements that you liked about it?
Like you said, I liked a lot of the characters. I liked Killer Croc with Adewale Akinoi Agbaje. Wow.
Still can't
hard.
pronounce it.
Still really hard. Yeah, and I liked Joel Kinnaman. I like him in a lot of the House of Cards things that he does in The Killing on Netflix. He's always a really good character actor. I seem to miss him in a lot of roles he plays because he does kind of seem to get lost in the roles that he's playing. I believed him as Rick Flag, this kind of leader of the ragtag Suicide Squad.
He's the straight man in the group. That, plays that role well.
And newcomer Karen Fukuhara, I liked her as Katana. They gave her a lot of backstory in this movie, and I'm interested to see where they take her character going forward because Katana was one of my favorite characters in the comics. So I would like to see where they take her from here. Now, Slipknot is one of the characters. I will talk about more about Slipknot when we get into the negatives because I didn't like how they treated his character. Jai Courtney was great in this movie. Now that just burns my tongue saying because it feels like heresy.
You would never believe that.
But man, Jai Courtney, I liked him as Captain Boomerang. He had a personality, which he doesn't tend to have in his movies.
And an Australian accent. He tried to play pretty well.
Well, he is Australian, so.
Well, he was speaking his native language.
Great. So I liked him as Captain Boomerang. I also liked Jared Leto's Joker. I liked, it definitely had some Al Pacino notes in it. I sensed some Al Pacino in there.
You did good, because I wasn't thinking Al Pacino.
Yeah, it was kind of the hoo-ah, like,
I didn't think about that, yeah. Because there's a lot of it, it's just, I actually had a hard time understanding some of the things that he was saying.
It definitely was a little intelligible in some parts, but I liked the commitment to his character. I don't think he had to go to the lengths that he did Offset that to get that character, but I liked the direction he's going. I can't wait for him to be in the solo Batman film, if he is in the solo Batman film at all.
I think him and Harley Quinn and probably Deadshot, they'll all
definitely Deadshot.
They'll make some sort of appearance in the solo Batman film because they really actually carry the movies in themselves. Jared Leto, the Joker, I give him a plus for his commitment, and even though his little hoo-ha, I did like, it wasn't as, him acting that way was nowhere near distracting as, it's, at least to me, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. I'm better than God. Anyway, just that just kind of, Jared Leto, he keeps it Joker. Like, he doesn't go too much overboard. It's still like, you look at like, that's Joker. Yeah, that dude's crazy.
Yeah, you believe him. Now, okay, so we've talked about, we like the characters, we like the world that it's set in. What did we think about the story? Or that'll kind of lead into what we didn't like about this movie.
Okay.
I will let you go, since you definitely didn't like this movie a lot more than I did.
All right, now the story for those, well, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what the storyline is about. The story, that is one of the biggest issues, and looking back on the trailer never really gave you any emphasis what the storyline is going to be about, which was actually, I liked that, because going into it, the expectation was low. I don't know what to expect, because it just focused on the characters and them doing this little suicide mission because of the Suicide Squad. But the story, that when it pans out, it turns out I did not like it. I don't like it. And that's hard for me to say, because where Batman v Superman, where the story is so complicated and so convoluted with so many details that you can just nitpick and really point out, Suicide Squad storyline is very simplistic. They got to fight they got to band together to fight this threat, this entity that can destroy the world, and they got to work on their differences and stuff. It's very generic. You've seen it before 1,000 times in comic book movies and movies similar to this. So I won't knock it for that. But what I do knock it for is just how it's told out.
Right.
DC hasn't run into a problem that Marvel would have ran into until Civil War kind of fixed it, where it was like, okay, so you have this threat, you have this entity, you have this team right here, and this team's dealing with this threat. If the Justice League movie was already out, the first thought that came to my mind is like, no, this is an issue the Justice League would have taken care of. They would have took care of this. If those who haven't seen Batman Superman, if Superman was alive, this is an issue that he would have took care of. Like, this is, and you're talking about a global threat, and that's fine with this movie because the way how the events are lead out, this is what they're brought in for, to stop things like this. But it's just the way how it's told out and it's executed. I just was not a fan of it, and I really felt that really harmed the movie so much more than just the characters, because I think where the movie had its highlights with the characters, is setting them up and who they are. It's that storyline that just really it brought it down to where I was just kind of like, I'm not a fan of it.
And going back to your point where you said that the story was really simplistic, I liked that aspect of it. What David Ayer was able to do with it, because with these giant superhero movies, like with Batman vs. Superman, you get kind of tangled up in these origins, and it becomes very convoluted. And with this, they were able to tell the origin story. They were able to tell it in a simple way, Granted, they maybe spent a little too much time introducing everybody, where I think they could have spent more time developing the characters. I would have liked a little more of that.
That's true. I think the first 20 minutes is actually spent introducing characters.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And so I wish he would have spent more time not introducing characters, but more developing them. I think they did a great job of developing the main people, the Deadshots, the Harley Quinn. They did a great job setting up Harley Quinn with Joker and all of that. Like with what Diablo got, basically the Diablo treatment. Because we didn't get a lot beforehand.
Or Katana.
Yeah.
And even Killer Croc. Killer Croc was the one where I was actually a little bit disappointed because he's actually just in the movie. He's just kind of like, I'm here.
But he's definitely very useful. He ends up being useful in the end, throwing the bomb.
For a guy who I think that's supposed to be like, kind of like the Hulk of the group, you don't expect much dialogue, but I gotta admit, it just, sometimes I almost forgot Killer Croc was there. Because they did so much of the other characters, you're just like, oh man.
But I like that they went simple with it because it makes it a smaller story, make it more simple. That way, for people who went in not liking how Batman vs. Superman was told, got a little bit of breath of fresh air. It was lighter and it was more simple of a story. So you go in with a fresh take, like, okay, DC can do something different than over gritty, long, convoluted storylines like with Batman vs. Superman or recently with some of the animated movies.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. This is not a very gritty movie. It's actually pretty grounded. It's the closest that we've seen. I hate to make a comparison to a Marvel movie, but it's almost like the closest they've got to a Marvel-ish type world where it's a grounded reality, but at the same time, it's not super gritty. It adds it mixtures both of them pretty well.
Now, I mentioned this earlier. One of the things I did not like about this movie was how they treated the character of Slipknot. Now, going into it, I didn't know who Slipknot was. I wasn't a big fan of him. I didn't even know what he did.
They gave him his own character page and detailed him in everything.
Exactly. They went whole handed out, knowing like Slipknot's in this movie, like giving him a character poster and everything. And I got that. That's awesome. But as soon as they introduced his character, and I knew they were going to do this, I knew they were going to kill off a character like almost immediately when they got into the mission, just to kind of prove the point, like, hey, if you don't do what we tell you, we're going to kill you off. So as soon as they got him out and they went, hey, that's Slipknot. He can climb anything. I went, he's dead. Because that's a dumb power. That's a dumb thing. You're not going to kill Fire Guy. You're obviously not going to kill Harley Quinn or Deadshot. You're not going to kill Killer Croc.
Nope.
And not even Diablo, who can blow fire, or Captain Boomerang. They're too well known. So you take a character like Slipknot, who's not very well known, who has a dumb power, and he's just I saw it coming, and when it happened, when they killed him off, I still felt disappointed. Like, I don't know what I expected.
I was too. Because I was just like, wow, they literally just killed off this, like you said, character.
And then Captain Boomerang, who absolutely got him killed, we don't see it addressed ever again. He was like, hey, we're going to break out of here. And then Captain Boomerang gets caught by Katana, and then he takes off, gets his head blown off, and nobody's like, hey, you absolutely got him killed. That was a bad move.
Captain Boomerang's like, yeah.
There seemed to be no consequences of that action at all, and it just seemed kind of...
Actually, you brought up a good point. That's actually one of the critical points I didn't like. There really isn't... I didn't really feel any consequences for a number of these characters for the actions they did. I didn't feel consequences for Harley Quinn when she left them on the rooftop to go with the Joker, and that didn't pan out. I didn't really feel any consequences for, Deadshot for not taking the shot to take out Harley when Amanda Waller says so. It just seems like you said, the movie is set up in a way like these characters are important. They're not going to do anything. For a movie that was trying to make it like you're criminals, you're bad guys, you do what you say, do as we say, or you die. They really had pretty much their own free reign.
They pretty much had it under control.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't like about this movie was the fact that, and spoiler again, because this is we've been talking spoilers the entire time.
But yeah,
if you're still in it, then
it's your fault.
Yeah,
it's your darn fault.
The fact that Enchantress ended up being the main villain in this movie.
Yeah.
Enchantress, I went in actually knowing a little bit about. I was excited that they cast Cara Delevingne as her because I like her as an actress, and I like how they introduced her. They had the cool little hand thing. They had the scene in the bathtub. I enjoyed all of those those setup things. I liked her relationship with Rick Flag. I thought that was really sweet. And toward the end of the movie, it just seemed like they were amping her up, and then she had the thing with their brother.
Yep.
It was all really, really confusing, and toward the end, it didn't feel like a resolved character arc with her, and I felt like it was just kind of a waste of that character. I felt like Enchantress, at least toward the end, would have been able to become a part of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
They made her too much of a, they were like, Enchantress is part of the Suicide Squad. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? We're going to have a magic, and they're going to have magic
you did.
showdown.
That's what you thought.
And for her to end up being the villain, the quote-unquote villain of this movie, it felt like a waste of her character, and I was really upset by that.
No, I did too, because when I kind of saw like that's the direction they were going, I was like, oh man. I was kind of hoping, I was like, well, maybe there's a big twist that they're going to reveal somewhere later on in the movie, and they don't, and that's pretty much it. It's like, yep, this is it. It's her brother. That's where I was like saying where the storyline, it does, you could lose interest in that. Whereas Batman v Superman is just a boring movie because they don't really do a lot. It's just a lot of talking and setting up. This movie, it's not as boring, but the story can make you lose interest because you're just kind of like, oh man.
And you can definitely tell that a lot of this movie was cut out with Jared Leto.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we could talk about that forever. But overall, I would say that even though this movie definitely has a lot of problems, definitely has a lot of missed opportunities as far as storytelling goes, I had a lot of fun with the movie, and I definitely love seeing these characters that I grew up liking, because I've always been more of a DC guy, especially when it comes to the villains. They have more exciting and more strong
love
villains.
their villains.
And so seeing these characters portrayed on screen definitely got me excited. I had enough fun with the story that the negatives were kind of overshadowed by how much fun I was having. I enjoyed the music. A lot of people have been saying that the music was kind of like a greatest hits, that definitely resembled the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It did do that, yeah.
I didn't think it took me out of the story at all. I liked that aspect of it, and I overall ended up really enjoying the movie, and I can't wait till the director's cut comes out, and I would like to see David Ayer's vision of the film, because I definitely think WB had a hand in.
Oh, they did. You can look at some of the scenes, I think, in the movie. You're just kind of like, yeah. If you've been reading the reports about them doing that sort of stuff, you can.
How would you feel about the movie overall?
I felt that I did not dislike as much as Batman v Superman, but it starts off strong, and then the second and third acts just to me really just drag on. There's quite a few moments of exceptional of talents and skills, and not talents and skills, but moments and set pieces, stuff like that, that really make the storyline move along. And then it kind of just dole. I think at the end it just kind of doles down a little bit. Like I said before, I don't think the movie is as bad as Batman v Superman or other people say. I generally did like the movie. I'm just really, really disappointed. I will say that.
And I think a lot of people will share that. Hopefully, with the critic response, we'll get an Ultimate Edition. Kind of like Batman vs Superman.
I think so.
Can't wait to see that and see how it makes the film better.
It should be out Blu-ray later.
If you guys want to see more reviews, you can check us out on YouTube and this video. Like it, subscribe it, check it out. Check all our videos out at WRBL.com. You can also follow us on social media at WRBL What to Watch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere that social media is available. What are you doing with Deadshot there?
Actually, I'm just playing my little action figures right here. It's like, hey, what's up, Mr. Deadshot? I don't know, Harley. You gotta stop doing what you do, girl. You kind of crazy. Oh, you need to fall in love with me. And then, well, he's not dead yet, but Bruce Wayne is like, hey. They're like, what? I'm Batman. That was better than the movie I saw. Would you agree?
I need a new co-host.
Hey guys, we're from RoboCop. He did play RoboCop, right?
I think so.